All right, and good morning, everybody. So, welcome back again. This is going to be part 5. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install this bushing in here. So, I do have a bunch of parts. So, I came up with a contraption to do that with that I'm going to show you. But again, these bushings for my particular truck were RB229s, and as you can tell, that's gonna fit perfect up in there. So for some reason I have a heavier duty bushing here, which is awesome. I mean, I'm definitely not gonna complain about that. But all right, we'll get that started. All right, so to start with, I'm gonna take some axle grease and I'm going to put it in the eyelet right here. Hopefully you guys can see that. But that's my leaf spring eyelet right there. And I wish I could get a better shot, but I'm not really at a good angle to do that. So I'm just going to put some grease in here. Get the outside of it a little bit. That's just going to help me put my bearing in. Alright, so now I feel like I got it good and thoroughly axle greased in there. So this contraption I came up with, we're gonna see how it works. And I know you guys can't see me, but that's fine. This piece I cut off of an old jack I had laying around. So you might have to use a different piece. But I got a bolt, and I got some washers on this side, 2 of them for strength. So I'm going to put this behind here, like that. Dang, you can't really see it. Let me see. Put that behind there. See, it fits. It ends up fitting perfectly on there, which was just coincidence really, but it does keep it just ever so slightly off, so it's not perfect. Alright, so anyway, that's there. So I take my bolt and I'm gonna run it from the far side this way. Alright, and the reason why I'm doing it from the far side is because if I can't pull the bearing all the way in there, then I can use my big hammer to knock it the rest of the way in. So then I'm gonna put my bearing in, or on here, like that, and then I put my other 2 washers like that, and then I got a nut right here, which I'll tell you what size that is here in just a second. Alright, and so the idea is is that whenever I start cranking this down, it's going to pull this bearing through. So I'm going to axle grease my bearing. Nice and greased up. Alright, and whenever you feel you got enough grease on there, then we're going to take our impact gun or air tool like this, find the appropriate socket, and suck that bad boy on there. Alright, so mine ended up being 3/4 is the bolt size that I picked out. So okay, so we got the actual bolt head, smaller washer, bigger washer, and then this plate that I found and made from my jack. The eyelet itself that the bearing's going to go into, the bearing, a larger bushing that's the same size as the bearing, so it has to push it, a smaller washer for strength or nut, and now the 3/4 inch socket and the air hammer. So let's see how this goes. It's working slowly but surely. Hang on, I gotta turn the air up on my tank here. Alright, now I apologize for the air compressor noise. That's just part of it. But it is working. It's sucking that bad boy in there. Alright, I'm gonna let my air compressor do its thing and I'll be right back. Okay, so my air compressor just stopped, but this will probably be short-lived. But you can tell that it's sucking it in there. And you know, if I had a bigger air tank, this probably wouldn't take so long. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this bearing in so I can show you that this worked. Thank you. Like, what in the world kind of contraption is this? Alright, so here's how far I got. Now my deep well socket is actually bottoming out. So that's an issue. I do have a 3/4 inch wrench that I'm going to try to put on here and see if I can make it go the rest of the way. If not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this same method on the other one, get them to where they're about halfway, and then use my angle grinder to just cut the bolt off and give me some extra length that I need. So that's what I'm going to do. Let me see how that's going to work. If I have to do that, then we'll jump to cutting off the other bracket and getting that other bearing out. Which actually, it's going to be the same process as the first bracket that I cut off, so I really don't think that I'm going to add all that video. I do have a lot of work to do, so mainly I just want to show getting this bushing in. So I might, if I have to do that, I'll skip that part for now and I'll come back to it. Alright, so just wanted to give you a better shot of that, how that's working. So I do have it halfway. Good news is that you can do it by hand. You can tighten it with a standard ratchet. I did put gloves on though, because you do have to push pretty hard on that ratchet. Maybe if you have a pipe that you could put on there, you know, it'd be a lot easier, but you can do it without the air tools. You can just use this. Alright, so here we go. I went ahead and put that bracket on. So my contraption that I made did bottom out. So you see that I got this much left of the bracket. What I'm going to try to do is use the weight of the truck itself to get this pushed up in there. And then when I tighten the bolt, it'll squish it back to where it needs to be. So that's what my thought process is anyway. So I don't know how well that'll work. The way they made mine, let's see. My groove is just so that you can't really get anything under there. Now maybe granted if I had two people we could pop, you know, kind of pry that up and I could beat that in the rest of the way, but so far I might have to go and get a press and finish doing it. I just don't have I don't have a big enough piece of pipe, I don't think, to do what I need right now. So shoot. It's getting too cold on me to do this, so I am not changing these right now. Because I really need my truck back together. And I'm going to change the title of the video to match what I actually did. So, alright, let me see if this works. And if it does, I'll come back and tell you guys. Alright guys, so, you know the drill. You got to improvise, adapt, and overcome. So me having that bracket on here and trying to get the weight of the truck to do it didn't work. So what I did was I found one of my 5-pound weights that just so happened to be the same size as my eyelet here. And now I got my bolt back in there. I'm going to pull this the rest of the way through that I need it. See, I need it at least to that little edge. So, and I think I got just enough room to do that. And actually it's going in a lot easier this way. So I'm really doing this one-handed now. But alright, let me get this sucker in and I'll show you that. Alright, so there we go, man. Like I said, improvise, adapt, and overcome, and you will get those suckers in there. That was actually a lot easier than having any kind of press. Well, maybe not as easy as a press, but definitely trying to beat it in with a hammer or anything like that I've seen. So awesome. We got that sucker in there. Now let me put that bracket back on, see if I can use the weight of the truck to get that in there. So awesome. Let's keep on moving, guys. All right, and just wanted to show you guys this. The way I found to do this bracket was to put caddy cornered bolts in like that. So I did run my bolts from the underside out and then put my nuts on this way. So all right, so the nuts on this are 18 millimeter on this side, and the inside in there are 15 millimeter. So that's what came with my application. All right, so there we go. We got my bracket back on. Now I'm going to try to let the truck down and see if those are going to line up. I don't know that they are, but I really hope so, because I would like to put that bolt on there, move on to that bracket there, and then move on to the other side. But awesome sauce, guys. That was just sheer luck that I did that the way I did. Man, I'm so excited about that bushing thing. I really hope that you guys can utilize that too if you're limited in your tools. All right, so I got that thing back together. Now, somehow it was like my bolt was in a bind and I couldn't tighten it. I mean, I did end up get it tightened down all the way, but I have to say that it was almost like that bolt was in a bind and you just could not get anything to turn it. My impact air ratchet wouldn't do it. I actually had to use my breaker bar to finish tighten that sucker down. I tried to lift it here, I tried lifting the frame, I tried to take some of the pressure off of it, but it just did not work. So I got that bracket in. I'm gonna finish putting my shock bracket in. So just because it did get so cold on me so quick and I'm running out of this day, I really want to get the bed back on this truck. So after looking at this other bracket over here, it really doesn't look that bad. I'm just gonna paint it, and I mean, spring's what, like a couple months away, so I have every bit of faith that it's gonna last. I'm not even gonna cut that one open and do it right now. I got a new bracket or bushing over there. I know you're supposed to change them in pairs, but wow, fighting with that bolt just now, that took like 2 hours to do. Not just the bolt, but 2 hours to do the bush and the bolt and everything. I just don't have that kind of time with winter approaching and supposed to be some ice storms and different things like that happen here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and put my new shocks on her. Once I finish that shock mount, put my new shocks on her, and then work on getting the bed back on her so I can put her back on the road. So thank you guys. Let's see how much of that I can get done. All right, so I did get that mount tightened back down. I love air tools. All right, so that was quick. I decided to leave that mount just because all those fuel lines, in the spring, I may replace all those fuel lines and everything and do that mount also. I do have the rear shocks, the rear shackles, the rear bushings, but like I said, the way weather's going right now, it's just not in my best interest to continue the rest of this project. So, all right, so here we go. So I got my shocks on my mounts, right? But I don't have the bottom end, all right, on both sides. So this is how I do these. I jack up the middle part of the truck to where the wheels are gonna be off the ground, barely off the ground, but they are. So now you can see that they are off the ground. All right. All right, so how I like to do this is take my jack under there. I'll jack up the bottom of the shock until it gets in that groove down there. And that is the bolt over there. But then you use like a flathead screwdriver or a screwdriver and kind of pry it to where your bolt will go through. You push your bolt through and you close it off. So that's what I'm going to do now. All right, so there we go. I got this shock in. Again, I just used my jack to help me push it up in place. All right, so I just wanted to show this other method. If you got the bed off of your truck, this method works great. What I did this time was linked the bottom, the axle portion of the shock together first down there, and then I used my ratchet strap to jack it down to where I could put it together. So be careful doing that. That is going to be on a spring tension. But if you feel that you can pull that off, just be careful, you know. But see how I got it wrapped? And I just pulled it together. So all right, guys, I am ready now to put the bed on this truck. So let me tighten down these. I believe all of these are 18 millimeter on this part, you know, the top mount as well as the bottom mount. So just so you guys know. All right, so here we go. I got my bed back up with my lawnmowers. All right, and I'm gonna back this thing on there and hopefully get this thing sighted and mounted. All right, guys, I got it on there. I just did beat daylight or sunset. Just did beat sunset, but I'm gonna go ahead and bolt the sucker on there. Man, look, that's with the bed down. Look how much ride height's under there already. Once I pull her out from under this mess and get all this unhooked, tomorrow in the daytime, I will do a walk around. But there we go. I put my bed back on, man. That is a relief. But all right, catch you guys here in a few hours. All right, so I got my truck put back together tonight, guys. It is 6:30. I actually started that at like 11:30, so 7 hours pretty much straight doing just what I did, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it was quite a bit. So I did go ahead and get that much done. Like I said, I postponed some of it till spring. It can last that long, so it's not that big of a deal. That one hanger was really the main one that I was worried about. So yeah, so basically we got that straightened out. We got the new shocks on there. The ride height is so much higher. Like, I'm 6 foot tall and the tailgate comes up to my waist. So it's quite a bit higher. I will do a walk around tomorrow and we'll check that out. So thank you guys for staying tuned. That's going to be part 5 of the video. So this whole series, I am going to have to work on changing the name because I didn't do everything that I said I was going to do in this video, and so I will work on changing the name. But other than that, we'll do a walk around tomorrow and it'll be good to go. So awesome. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a safe and blessed rest of your night. Alright, I wish I really had a before video, but look how high the back of the truck is riding now. Wow. I think it went up like 4 inches, guys. I really do. Just putting new shocks, those new shocks in there. Man, oh man. Literally, when I put the tailgate down, it is up to my waist. I'm 6 foot tall, so it's 3 foot off the ground. And I guess the actual bed, the top right here, is up to my chest. So anyway, just wanted to show you guys that it made a major difference with those shocks. So, and I did the front ones a while back too. I wish I would videoed that one, but man, that was a pain too. So, but all right, good show, guys. Awesome sauce.